actually in a very good space. It's a very good place. I can confidently say that I'm not bullshitting. How we are acquiring customers, how much money we spend to acquire them, the conversion rate on our website, the retention on the customers that subscribe, the amount of subscribers we have in comparison to first-time customers. Everything is fucking good in that arena. We have no money. We have no money. And that is the challenge for us, right? Like, that is the challenge. It's a very difficult time to raise money. And so we're getting there. I believe we'll get there with every cell in my body. But this idea that, like, you know, it's like hearing somebody that loves it and hearing somebody that hates it. Having a really, really fucking awesome business and no money to actually grow it. That is the conundrum of entrepreneurship.
Yeah. And I think it's hard for people probably to hear, even, I'll be honest, even sometimes when you say it, like, we have an awesome business, but we need money, right? Like, the side of my brain that's processing just logically, to me, like, that doesn't make sense, right? And I think when you break it down, right, there's the elements of everything that if you can continue to scale it, it does get to a place where it checks more boxes as to what an awesome business is, right? But the stage where we're at, and I think it's fair to say, I mean, you would probably agree as well, you know, we've wasted money trying things that I wouldn't even necessarily characterize as a waste, because now we know don't lean into that, right? But you had to deploy that capital at that time just to find out whether or not that works for the business. And so at every instance where we've gotten on the phone or on a video call or in person and been like, you know, it's tight, you know, what do we do? We've leveled up every time, right? And so even when you're saying that right now, you know, where business is in a great place and we are tight on cash, I think, you know, one of the things that you just read that, I think, in the text message, of where it's like, I think that forces us to then level up further. And I don't know the actual data on it, but I think it's a very common thing that there's a lot of successful businesses that come out of kind of a recessionary period. Because you kind of have to hunker down and make the most of what you have. When there's capital being flushed into the market at like crazy valuations, it's hard to understand what you're doing right and wrong, because everyone thinks like you're doing great, right? You know, a year ago, and in simplest form, right, for people that don't talk about this stuff all the time, like if you characterize it just in terms of Shark Tank, right? If someone offers X amount of money for the business, they're coming up with a number in their head as to what the business is worth. That's completely arbitrary, right? There are market dynamics that shift that, but, you know, 2 years ago, someone would have told you that the business is worth 5 times gross sales, and today someone could tell you it's 2 times, and it could be the same thing, right? And so, you know, when we say we're in a great spot, I think it's a lot more about the positioning that it's in long term, and where we think it is headed. There's just other factors at play that change what your cash picture might look like, and we just constantly have to navigate that.